What is up, everybody? Spot of Nerd here with a very random discussion we're going to have on day number 6. That's right. 6 days straight, 2026. Yours truly, Spot of Nerd, has gone in a row live every day, even if it's briefly, although it's really not briefly, let's be honest. It's been at least 15 plus minutes. So let's get the usual suspects out of the way. If you're new to the channel, I would love you so much. Just subscribe, follow, whatever you can. Tell me your thoughts on the topics we discuss, blah, 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 blah. To the 3 or 4 of you that still watch, I love every single one of you. But something interesting is happening around the world of Gordon Ramsay and his 30,000 television series. And I wanted to kind of get into it a little bit. Nothing too crazy. So I will start this video off with the fact that I have to be extremely careful around the discussion we're going to have right now. But if you know me, if you know the channel, if you know my viewpoints, pretty sure you can gather where my head is at. So I'll get there. What I'm getting at is basically, has Gordon Ramsay, Hell's Kitchen, everything else that he does, has he gone the typical route of politics, the agendas? Because I can tell you, after this most recent week, I'm a big Hell's Kitchen fan. I love Hell's Kitchen. I know it's a reality show, yada, yada, yada. After this past week, I'm done. I'm fucking done. Because the dude is getting rid of qualified candidates. And quite frankly, all they care about, or they seem to care about, allegedly, what I'm observing, is the cliche stuff that we're seeing with every fandom, with every franchise, with every studio, with every insert XYZ here. Just think MCU. So without further ado, roll the beautiful bean footage. Hey, it did it right. Okay, again, still working on that like fade out black to black, like the transition. That's what I'm thinking, like a transition in the video or something like that. But anyway, let's just get right down to it. Everybody on the planet who has a phone, who has a television, knows Gordon Ramsay, knows who, he's a cooking master. He's got Michelin star restaurants. The man is probably worth $1 billion just because he's got, I don't know, 40,000 restaurants or something like that. Obviously, one of his biggest shows that has now gone on to season 24 is Hell's Kitchen. And biggest fan. I love the show. I've been watching every episode, all 24 seasons. But this last week, and I watch Hulu. You know how like it premieres on Thursdays, but you watch it later on Hulu. That's what I do because it's just I don't have time to remember when this shit starts and ends. It doesn't matter. What I'm getting at is the most recent episode of Hell's Kitchen, season 24. History has been made because it is the first time that we are in the finalist stage. So they get down, they dwindle. There's 2 teams, a red and a blue. They dwindle themselves down to 5 finalists, and those 5 finalists get what's called black jackets. Just means that you're the shit. You're the one you're vying to be basically the head chef of a new restaurant that Gordon is opening wherever they may be. So right now they're currently in Connecticut. They've done Nevada, obviously Vegas, which is amazing, by the way. If you've never been, it actually is quite amazing to see that place. He's all over the world, all over the country, yada, yada, yada. So these black jackets are only for those that have proven themselves in this competition to be master class. No pun intended, whatever the metaphor is for the cooking shit. I don't know what you call it. So history has been made for the first time, and let me share this screen because you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about when I pull up this article and we kind of briefly go over it. Again, I won't go too crazy. I'm going to have to ride a very thin line because I enjoy having a paycheck. So bear with me with this. Here we go. Let's share this. Dun, 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 dun. You guys can see that, right? Let me get this stuff out of the way. So we'll kind of go over this article a little bit here. History is made on Hell's Kitchen as Gordon Ramsay narrows down to top 5. Where is the history? Well, if you go through this article, obviously they had a final competition challenge thing where they had to, like I said, there was like 7 or 8 contestants. They had to dwindle themselves down to 5. Anything from so this specific season, just to give a little bit more clarity, it's been all about the battle of the states, like the 50 United States. So, part of this competition was like, hey, bring a flavor from your state, make a dish around Delaware or Montana and blah, 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 blah. So, where the history comes in, I guess isn't really the biggest article, but we'll just go up to the title because that's what really matters. Where the history comes in, it's the first time in 24 seasons of Hell's Kitchen that it is an all-female finalists. All 5 black jackets are female. Now, again, gotta tread lightly here. I want to be very clear here. I have absolutely no problem with this. I think it's great, actually. I do genuinely think it's awesome to see 5 women in the top 5. I'm somebody, if you watch the channel, women's rights matter. I don't think you should transition children. I think that's pretty fucked up. Not afraid to say that live on here. Ultimately, though, what it comes down to again, and I say that as a broken record at Spot of Nerd, is what we do here. If you look at the last season, season 23, the winner, and again, I'll pull it up here. Let me see. I had another article. Where was it? Hold on. Give me 1 second. I had it and then it just disappeared. Okay. Wait, nope. Here it is. I swear I had this and then it just went and then pooped out. Basically, let's look at the cast of season 23 and I'll show you who the winner was. Now, there's no problem with the winner of season 23. I want to be very clear about that. Let's look this. Sorry, my internet is just being real stupid right now. Let's go ahead and I'm going to share just my screen here. Okay, so this was the winner of season 23. Without going into too many details, as you can imagine, where my constructive feedback comes in is if you watch the entire season, there is not a chance in hell this person, if you ask me as a fan, as somebody who has never cooked a meal in his life other than pushed a few buttons on a microwave and basically has the weight, as in like my opinion, has the weight of a pebble on a beach. So again, this is just my viewpoint. This is just my opinion. This is just kind of hopefully sticking to where I'm trying to go with our discussion here. Look this person up. I would simply just tell you that. Look this individual up. I have no disrespect or I don't have any doubt behind their skill as somebody who is a professional cook, somebody that is a head chef. Nor do I have any ill will or disrespect or, again, covering all my bases to make sure that I don't say anything dumb or get myself into trouble. Do I have any ill will towards these current finalists of season 24, these ladies? But let me pull up one more image here with season 24. So obviously this is on Reddit, so you're gonna have to just whatever, but I think it was just kind of it'll show a representation of what I'm trying to come across here. So the gentleman on the right, I forget what his name is. I'm terrible with names. If you guys know this channel, and my phone is going off, I apologize. I should have put it on vibrate, whatever. Gentleman on the right, if you look at his qualifications, the man is basically Gordon Ramsay 20 years ago. So Gordon is, I think he's like in his 60s now or 70s. he's like Gordon in his 40s. The man is he's beautiful, not only physically, like, and I can say that I'm comfortable with my own sexuality. I think he's a gorgeous dude. The level of like cooking expertise that he has is amazing. The gal to the right of him, again, forget the names. I go look this stuff up. I don't really know. I couldn't care less. I just watch the show because it's Hell's Kitchen is what it is. You watch Hell's Kitchen to watch Gordon. Let's be very honest. Again, I want to be very clear. I have no disregard for her level of expertise when it comes to cooking and things like that and blah 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 blah. But the way they are portraying this current season as well as last season, just from the contestants alone to the quote unquote 5 finalists of this current season making history being all female and focusing the last most recent episode 43 minutes all devoted to girl power, women power, all of this, women rule, guys drool. And yet you're showing us talent from these quote unquote gentlemen that, again, somebody who has zero weight in this aspect of an opinion because I wouldn't have a clue what is good or bad when it comes to food, cooking, blah, 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 blah. You're going to tell me not a single male got through to the final? Really? Not a single one of them? So, again, to be very clear, if you're not familiar with the show, in order to get to this point, they had to do like 3 cooks. That sounds really bad. Sounds like meth. Sounds like Breaking Bad. Cut a long story short, they had to do 3 challenges in one take, if that makes sense. So 1 episode, 3 challenges, where normally 1 episode, 1 challenge, and then they just have a dinner. You're telling me not a single dude, and if you watch the show, if you have zero expertise, knowledge around cooking, not a single dude beat out these 5 ladies? Not one? And then again, I go back to if you look at season 23, you look at the winner compared to the other individual, which was the most amazing. Actually, let me look. I want to show you. I want to show you the other gal. She was absolutely amazing. She was truly an inspiration for everybody. So yeah, let me show you this guy. This real quick here. Let me take this off. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, I know. You're probably just like, wow, you really failed at setting this up properly. Okay. I think I got it. So, the gal on the left of Kyle, her name was Hannah Flora. She was basically, she got second place in season 23. Kyle won ultimately season 23 of the show. If you looked at the way, now obviously this is reality television, this is all designed to show you hype and mysteriousness and tense situations of like who's gonna win, who's doing better. Like, I am not blind to that. I know I'm a dumb audience member. I will admit that. This gal, they obviously give you a history, who they are, some of their family, why they're doing this, their passion behind cooking, blah 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 blah. Has one of the most amazing stories to tell, this Hannah gal. And I encourage you, again, go look it up. It's heartbreaking. She lost somebody. She lost a fiance to suicide. It's horrible. It's horrible, but she's obviously been able to regroup, and she made it to the top 2 at Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay. It's fucking amazing. Now, that's where you might be wondering to yourself, well, she's a lady. Why didn't she win? Why didn't they just make her the winner to prove the point that I'm getting at with this discussion that we're having, which hopefully you're catching on by now, because I know I'm being pretty vague. Allegedly, obviously, we got to throw that word out there apparently into the world now. So here's the challenge, though. Like I say, just one more time, go look up Kyle. Just go look him up. You'll kind of get my meaning in that regard. Where I'm going to finalize this, and I promise I'm getting to my conclusion here in this discussion. like I've said 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 times before, I'm a huge, huge advocate of women's rights. I love women. I think they're amazing beings. Sometimes they're superior to men. I think we are all on an even plane. Those other words that I have to say to make sure, again, that I don't say anything stupid, but I'm just pointing out the fact that I'm looking at a lot of what Gordon Ramsay is doing lately, whether it is his shows, whether you follow him social media, blah, 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 blah. He has fallen to the wayside of today's typical politics and agendas. He really has. And it breaks my heart and it pisses me off. Obviously, I know I shouldn't be surprised, and quite frankly, I'm not. I'm kind of surprised it took this long, but the pieces are finally starting to show their true colors. Let's be very frank. If you're a fan of his, you obviously maybe are kind of thinking the same thing. If you're not, tell me your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to have the discussion because, again, I'm not the only one. If you go on Reddit and you look at these forums with Hell's Kitchen and you look at again, there's a word for this stuff that I don't know. I'm not the only one that's thinking it because there are talented individuals, regardless of sex, male or female, that should be going to these quote unquote finals, that should be the quote unquote finalists, but they're not. So, what is that telling you? If it isn't obvious, go ask some friends about what I'm kind of talking about because it's just how, why, if there's just words. So much I would love to say, but I won't because I'm smart and I love having a paycheck. So you won't be catching me doing any stupid shit like that. But I thought it was a good discussion to have, and I'm sure we're going to be bringing this up again in the future. No doubt about it. But I just wanted to point out the fact again, after this most recent episode, I'm done watching this shit. I'm really done watching this shit because you've shifted from 24 seasons of just a fucking cooking show where you work, say somebody like me, you work a 40-hour week. You just want to come home and watch your favorite show. You want to watch one of your biggest idols, which again, Gordon Ramsay, to me, huge idol of his. He's an inspiration. The man has done incredible things. He has built an empire around cooking. It's amazing. But I never would have expected him to go down this route. I would have never, I really would have never expected him to go down the ideologies, the politics, the agendas, blah, 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 blah. Insert XYZ here. And it pisses me off because how is it a stupid ass reality show around cooking, which I say stupid ass just in the fact of the quote reality show television. Obviously, I have huge admiration and respect for these cooks, these people, Gordon, blah, 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 blah. I really, really do have respect for these people. I think shit that I could never fucking do. But again, how do you get to this point? And I'm saying that in a rhetorical sense, just in case you're wondering. How do we get to this point on a reality cooking show with Gordon fucking Ramsay? The man who is iconic for being pissed and saying the most insane things to people. Idiot sandwich. You all remember the clip. It's one of the greatest things ever on the planet. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, we're gonna wrap this up just with that. It was a gimmick thing, but it was one of those where it was so perfect we had to. So here we go. We'll wrap this episode up. But I think you guys can guess or at least acknowledge, hopefully understand where I'm going with this. And if you don't, message me privately and we'll talk about it. Because again, albeit we live in a different time, we still got to be very careful. The sad reality, to be blunt. Ha, perceive reality. See what I did there? So, anyway, this is, again, one of the most iconic scenes anybody has ever known from Gordon Ramsay. Let me just, again, share this up here. You'll know it. You've probably seen it somewhere in the world, somewhere in the past. Let me share this real quick. Okay. Everybody knows this.
in the is that? You got mad! Eat it then! Tensions reach their boiling point. What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Idiot sandwich what?
An idiot sandwich stuffed ram.
Again, everybody knows the idiot sandwich routine. It was hilarious. I mean, maybe not so much anymore right now, but it is what it is. So, anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. I've said enough. Hopefully, you can kind of gather where I was going with this, like I said, and I just words that I want to say that I won't, but I'm just kind of done. I really am. One thing I will give credit as a final thought here. Survivor. Everybody remembers Survivor, right? If you were born in the 90s, you remember that shit has been going on for 50 seasons, just FYI. They're literally about to premiere their 50th seasons. And the reason I bring it up is basically because it's interesting. Obviously, I used to watch every season. I'm one of those again. It was just something totally random to watch, just a stupid shit to put on the background. They did lose me. They really did. It's one of those TV shows. They went down the cliche, the politics, the agendas, yada yada yada, and I just was like, "Fuck this shit." So I stopped watching. I haven't watched like the last 20 seasons. I did start watching that again. Not gonna lie to you, hand to God, I'm ashamed, but it is what it is. Wow, I need to put this on silent. So my train of thought in there was maybe this will change one day. It took 20 plus seasons for Survivor to get basically to correct themselves. I think when they started losing viewers, they started to realize just what they were doing. Basically, they were losing the fans, they were losing the audience. So they really they 180 degree their shit back to what Survivor is. And all of a sudden people started watching again, myself included. So again, guilty. I do still watch it. I refused. Wow. Really? I swear to God, I've never had this much attention in my life on my fucking phone. Where was I going with that? Cliff Notes. I think what I'm getting at is the bottom line. Maybe Hell's Kitchen and Gordon will get back to it. Maybe they'll get back to a fucking cooking show that's a reality show. Maybe. Maybe one day we'll get back to it. Maybe one day Gordon will realize, did I really do that? Did I really go down the same path of every other media out there? The ones that everybody bashes and destroys, or at least the majority do, because we're fed up of it being shoved down our throats at every instance? I pray to God that he does. I really, really do. Because I'm not saying I'm not a fan of Gordon. I'm simply saying if Gordon's listening or watching, or anybody that ever has connections with him, and by some random miracle, my opinion mattered to anybody, specifically him or his producers and writers, stop it. Stop doing what you're doing right now and go back to the basics. One last time, I'm not denying these individuals' professionalism, their hard work, their backgrounds, blah, 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 blah. I'm not even saying that these 5 ladies don't deserve to be in the top 5. We're talking about a fucking reality show. All I'm saying is, I call bullshit. I call absolute bullshit on these finalists. Because you know damn well, at least one of those others, even though they might happen to have been a male, was better. And that is something I will not be afraid to say live out here. That's my 2 cents. Last but not least, I know I say that I thought like, oh, we're going to end it. I'm like fucking Lord of the Rings here. I thought it'd be kind of cool. So yours truly, God, many moons ago, bought one of the big Lego sets. If you guys know the Technics, is it pronounced Technic? Basically, I bought the Ferrari set. This is the book. This is just one. You can see here. This is just one book of 2. It is going to fit right here. When I finally finish it, it's going to fit right here. I've kind of wanted to make. I bought this. It's a custom case. It's beautiful. I love it. It's fantastic. But it's been sat here for a while. There is supposed to be a car in here. I promise. There is supposed to be a car in here. A Lego car. So I finally started to build it. And so far, this is what we have. So again, just to show you, credit to Lego. Again, the mechanics of this thing, I'm just trying to see if I can show you guys some of these. Like, it's insane what they do to these things now. Like, it's absolutely, like, look, it's fucking engine parts that move. It's a fucking Lego. How is this done? It's fucking amazing. If I was smarter, I would have done this with my life. But anyway, this is the start of it. So I'll kind of give you guys progress updates as we go along. I've got a very long way to go, but I'm excited not only just to get it in here, but just to build this thing. And I think I broke this. Fuck me. I'm going to go see if I can repair that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much if you got this far. Super appreciate it. Have a listen on the podcast. If you can't watch this, don't watch this while you're driving. I love you guys. I appreciate it. We will chat with you next time. Laters, y'all.